How's it going, everybody? I'm going to do a little size comparison video comparing the Sig M11A1 to the Glock 19. This is just going to be a real short, informative video just to kind of show people that might be more familiar with the Glock 19 and its size, how it compares to a Sig 229 or M11A1. Okay, both of these firearms are empty. I'm just going to give you a little bit of a size comparison here between the two. Right here you can see the Sig being on the right, that the grip length between the two, the Sig is roughly about a ½ inch taller. Okay, a lot of that is caused to the thickness, the height difference in here. When I hold these in my hand, take a look at where my fingers are, where my hand is in relationship to the slide. Hold the Sig. The grip length itself is about the same, but you can see that there's this space right here. Slide is here, and you have this space here, and that's where you're getting the added height, I think. If this space wasn't here, if the bore axis on this Sig was down low like it is on the Glock, I think they'd be virtually the same height. Both of these are 15+1, so the capacity is exactly the same on the two. Now I'm going to stand these up on their behinds. You can see right there, that Sig is just a hair longer. I mean, I'd say 1/4 inch, if that. Of course, you have the hammer sticking down here, where on the back of the Glock it is flush, no hammer. Try this here. Somewhat see the difference if you're just going nose to nose. If you look at it this way, they're stinking practically identical when you look at them like that. So, for all intents and purposes, the length and the height is really close. Most of us know the Sigs have a little bit higher bore axis. That's what they call the distance between where you grip. Let me do it on this side. See how high the slide is? Right here above my hand. Whereas on a Glock, you can see where the hand, I mean, it just barely clears that slide coming back. So that's where you're going to get your extra height out of this Sig when you're talking essentially the same capacity of 9mm. Look at the two like this. Trying to look in the camera and look on there. The Sig is a little bit thicker here. Not much at all, but it is just a hair thicker. The width on the two is really close. Just looking at them. Okay, the Sig, I believe, is just a hair wider. The Glock is said to be 1.18, but I think that's at the controls. Let's just do this real quick. I don't know why I didn't have this out to start with, just not thinking as usual. I'm going to do the width of the slide and the frame up front here, in front of the chamber area. Okay. That's just a hair over an inch. That's like 1 point, what would that be, 1.2? Something like that. On the Glock, in the same place. Let me open this up. Put this down. Look at that. It's even wider. Make sure I'm not. Now this is counting the frame too. This isn't just the slide. That's counting the frame as well. And again, now see on the Sig, the slide is actually wider than the frame. See, it's got some room there. So the Sig up here is actually narrower than the Glock. Not counting the controls and all that. You get back here, which I don't really put too much credence in the width back here, because this here is what's going in your holster. But back here, not counting the controls, just putting that thing down as deep as I can with these calipers over this, between the controls here. Got that there. On the Glock, look at that. A lot of difference. So the Sig, as it goes back in here, it's getting fatter. It's getting fatter. But where this is getting it, and I just noticed this, that caliper was getting into the fat grip right here. Right here where the grip sticks out. I have a damn flashlight handy. Okay, that light helped. Right in here the grip starts flaring out right here, and the caliper was getting into that. So this is kind of a good for nothing measurement, because this is all going to measure the same. If I just go just on the slide, not getting into any grips or anything like that, it's going to be the same as it is up front. Okay. So the Sig slide is narrower than the Glock, but when you start getting down in here, in the control areas and stuff, it's wider because of the way the grip is. You can plainly see that right there. The weight on the two. This one here, the Sig, with an empty 15 round magazine in it. .7 ounces. Okay. The Glock with an empty 15 round magazine. 23.6 ounces. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. You know, so it's right at 6 ounces lighter. 15 rounds of 115 grain, 9mm, runs right at 6.2 ounces. So your total weights, just do the math, will tell you what they would weigh loaded without one in the pipe. So, grips, you can see where my fingers terminate on here, are essentially the same. You can see that the bore axis on the Sig is higher than on the Glock. This is pretty standard stuff, pretty standard knowledge. You know, some people complain about the bore axis on a SIG being higher. It's going to cause it because the action of this slide flying back being higher above your hand is going to cause it to be more flippy versus a firearm that has a much lower bore axis. It isn't going to be as flippy because it's going to be more in line with your hand. 9mm, I really don't foresee this being a huge thing with a 9. You start getting into some more powerful stuff, you know, I might be able to see it, but I still need to fire this. I just was upstairs and I was thinking, you know, I ought to go downstairs and go ahead and do that size comparison between the two. Line up the chambers there. There's your length. SIG Glock. So let's see, length, width, weight. That's really about it. The Glock is a polymer framed plastic. This is all polymer down in here. The SIG, this is aluminum, a alloy, metal. It's not plastic. There is your added weight, without a doubt. But the SIG feels phenomenal in hand. If you look, I haven't done this, at the grip angle between the two, you see how the SIG grip is more up and down? I mean, it's not straight up and down, but it's more up and down than the Glock. The Glock grip sweeps back. You know, it has more of a backward sweep to it, where the SIG's is more up and down versus the Glock. A lot of people complain about a Glock. They don't like the grip angle because it isn't natural, like a 1911. You pull up with the natural aim, and like whenever I do it right now, and I just pull up and just put it straight out, the front sight is a little high. Because of this grip angle, I need to bring that down just a little bit to get the sights in line. Whereas with the SIG, whenever I pull it up and I just go straight out, the sights are already lined up. It's just more natural pointing, quote unquote, like a 1911. Not that it's an issue for me, because it's not. It's not an issue for me at all. It's just something that you get used to, you know, but a lot of people do, you know, complain about that, and, you know, a lot of people just are not aware that the grip angles are, you know, different like that. So if you just take a look at them, you can see how they sweep. Anyway, guys, not going to make this any longer than I need to. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. They're extremely close in size. They serve the same purpose. They're both 15 round, 9mm. Striker fired, hammer fired, double to single action. This one's got the same trigger pull every time, right at about 5 pounds. This one here is about 10.5 pounds in double action, around 4.5 pounds in single. So it's all on what you want. But if size, if you're just wondering about the actual size, this M11A1 is essentially a P229. Okay, so P229 is going to be right at the same size as a Glock 19 in length and height. Thanks for watching, guys. Y'all take care. We'll see ya.